Thy merchant princes swelled the cry that the vile drug must sell though nations die. No more be styled the Empress of the Main, who strike not now for glory but for gain. Pour o'er the feeble land the poison flood, and drive the guilty bargain home with blood. The weak should yield submission to the strong. Might conquers right, she peals the trumpet note, and dictates morals from the cannon's throat.
You thought you knew everything about the Opium War. No, you don't. You would think the Opium War starts with gunshots on the 4th of September 1839, wouldn't you? No, it didn't. A captain may give the order, and a soldier load and fire the cannon. A war does not necessarily start with military action. Let me tell you, a conflict starts not with gunshots, but with a war of knowledge. Why? Because you need to persuade your people to go along with you, and you want to be on the side of justice. What is a war of knowledge then? To put it simply, you twist and bend all kinds of words to spin ideas so that you will look morally smart. I insist, a war of knowledge precedes military action.
If you ask me, too many wars have been fought, and too many men in Canton and Macau too. You must know I am the only spinster in this place, and I am pulled about in every direction.
Yes, Harriet, my dear. There are many young and handsome British merchants in Canton, but they are not here for you to dance with. They are here to make money. Okay. Here is your first question, Harriet. What caused the first Opium War? A. Was it caused by the infamous opium smuggling trade? B. By the expansion of British trade? C. In defence of British national honour? Or D. Because of cultural conflicts between China and the West?
Yes, I know. The war started because of me. Because I am the only foreign spinster in China.
Bye-bye, Harriet, dear. The answer is all of the above and none of the above. These four are part of the war's causes, but there is a main culprit. The war was triggered by a group of British merchants living in Canton, known there as the Warlike Party. Their ringleaders were William Jardine and James Matheson. Members included James Innes, William Wetmore, and former East India Company staff Hugh Hamilton Lindsay. The Warlike Party wanted to remake China's trade relations with the British. They believed that this could only be done through a war. What's wrong then with the Canton trade? First, the Warlike Party disliked the fact that Canton was the only port for them to trade with the Chinese merchants. Second, free trade was fast becoming the dominant political economic ideology in Britain in the 1830s. Free trade ideas made the Canton one-port system look especially inadequate. Thirdly, the British merchants wanted direct access to the vast Chinese market. And lastly, they wanted to trade in the conditions under which the merchants believed themselves entitled by the right to being British, because Britain was the mightiest empire in the 1830s. These arguments for a war were developed in the Chinese port of Canton, where British merchants came to trade. Thus, the Chinese port of Canton became a site of British knowledge production about China.
Stop! You know, we returned to tea with 10 gentlemen. I have improved so much now that I sit down to the table without the least fear.
Okay, Harriet dear. Here is another question for you. How did the warlike party talk about war?
I know the answer. They published weekly newspapers and monthly journals. In it, they talked about the trade in Canton, about corruption in China, about progressive ideas, and anything related to the British Empire and the Qing Empire.
Bravo! Well done, Harriet. Yoo-hoo! Yes, indeed! The British, together with a small number of other European merchants, lived in the 13 factory in Canton during the trading season. In the 13 factories, they established 5 English language printing presses. The 5 were the Canton Register, the Canton Press, the Chinese Repository, the Canton Miscellany, and lastly, the Chinese Courier and Canton Gazette, which was established by Harriet's heartbroken fiancé, William Whitman Wood. The 5 printing presses, together with everyday face-to-face contact in the confined space of the 13 factories, formed in Canton a British maritime public sphere. The idea of waging a war against China was developed in this public sphere in the 1830s. As the warlike party was unhappy about the trade relations in Canton and about how they were treated by the Chinese Qing government, they took opportunities to urge the British government to start a war. In 1834, in a petition to the Parliament for waging a war against China, 35 of the 86 white British residents of Canton put down their signatures. The biggest opportunity came when the opium that the British merchants imported to China was confiscated by Commissioner Lin Jeishu in the spring of 1839. They were forced to leave the 13 factories. Some of them went back to London using the incident as a pretext to advocate a British war against China.
The men here are a good-for-nothing set of rascals. Don't tell anyone, but all they care about is eating, drinking, and frolicking.